Tucked into Sao Paulo's Barra Funda neighborhood is the unassuming home of one of MMA's hottest pro teams. The gym is Combat Club, where head coach Pablo Sucupira and UFC middleweight Caio Borralho are leading a new wave of talent through the UFC, Contender Series, and more. They call themselves the Fighting Nerds.
All right, so Pablo, Fighting Nerds, one of the head coaches. You guys are having a tremendous year. I feel like every week now there's a new fighter coming in and getting a win, and the glasses are broken out.
Yeah.
How did you start off in MMA? Did you come over from the world of boxing? Is that kind of where you got your start?
I'm used to be a professional boxer, also a Muay Thai fighter. But when I moved to a trainer, I saw that the path in boxing, Muay Thai in Brazil was too hard. And I realized that in MMA we could do bigger things, you know? Especially when I met Caio Borralho.
I'm from a small city in Brazil. It's called St. Louis. It's in Northeast Brazil. And then I moved to São Paulo in 2014. And when I was like training 2 months there in São Paulo, I met a guy, his name is Bruno Murata, that used to train with Pablo. He came to me and he said like, so you wanna train striking, you know, your striking game and stuff, because I'm only seeing you training grappling. I was like, yeah, I wanna train. So okay, I'm gonna pass you this address and I'll see you there on Tuesday. Okay. And then I came to the gym on Tuesday. I seated there to wait the guys, and I saw, you know, like a small and thin guy coming in, you know, and it was Pablo. He looked at me and was like, oh, so you Caio, you came to train? Yeah, I came to train. Okay, let's go. So you're gonna train with me. I was like, with this guy?
When he arrived in the team, he was really raw yet. And I started to work with him. I always had a different vision of the fight. And he was one of the guys that truly believed in myself and my vision.
We start training, it was like, oh, we're just gonna do some drilling, you know, put the gloves, put the mouthpiece, and then we're just gonna do some drilling. And then, like 2 minutes doing drilling, he was like, okay, now we're gonna spar. I was like, what the fuck, you know, like, okay, I'm not gonna hard with this thing, guys, so I'm not gonna hurt him in my first day, you know. I was thinking that on my mind, you know. And man, that was the biggest ass beat that I have ever got into my life, you know. I took a bit, you know. But I didn't give up, you know. I was like trying. After like 2 rounds of him beating me up, I was like, I'm gonna kill this guy, you know, so I'm not gonna give up. He tried everything to knock me out and he didn't. And then after, when the training stopped, he was like, okay, so you can come here like twice or 3 times a week. We're gonna train you. So let's see how far you go. And that's how I met him. He beat my ass.
It must have been pretty rewarding for you once you got Caio in. And I mean, it's not like you started up and then a year later you had a guy that was in the UFC.
No.
Like you had 8 years of working with him and training him and building him. So what did that moment feel for you? Because he had to fight multiple times on Contender Series too to get in. So you really grinded to kind of get that opportunity.
Like, I felt that was really hard to burst onto the scene, you know? But once we did that, it was like a takeover. The first 2 fights of Caio was really hard because he has this mental game and he always finds the safest path to win the fight. This is what I always taught him. Like, you are, before being a fighter, you are a problem solver. You know, you have to find the best way to solve any problem. And a fight is a big problem to solve. And I taught Caio to always solve the problem in the safer way. And in the beginning, especially for Contender, that's not the way they want people to be there, you know? They want people to go crazy, go wild, and take risks. So the first fight, we fought a really hard guy, Aaron Jeffrey. And Caio was an underdog. And he won, like, consistently. He won, like, the three rounds. And we were sure that Dana would sign us up, you know. But when he say no, I'm not signing you guys.
I don't know. I'm not interested at this time. And you know, keep working, kid.
They drove us back to the hotel, and Caio went to me and say, Pablo, I'm not coming back. I said, how's that, Caio? You have to come back. I said, no, I'm not coming back. I'm just coming back with the contract. I said, but what are you gonna do? I don't know. We're gonna train here. I'm gonna do something. And we sent a message to Mick Maynard, say, Caio's not coming back. He's gonna stay in Vegas. So if there's any spot, any fights, there's any problem, he's there. And Mick Maynard said, oh, awesome, just that. And the other coaches went back to Brazil, and just me and Caio stay here in the United States. And a few days after, Mick Maynard called us and say, we have a spot, but in light heavyweight, Irene. I said, sure, of course. And in the second fight, we knew that we need to put on a show. And that's the way to solve that problem. And he did that. He put on a show, he got the contract. And after that, I think all the eyes were starting to look at us. And we had a lot of quality there in the gym.
Big elbows, and that is it. A first-round finish for Caio Borralho. Will it be enough the second time around? My guess is yes.
My guess would be yes too, right?
I meant to be here, bro. Thank you so much, Dana. Thank you, Mickey. Thank you.
I respect very much that you came back and you fought again. You know, you came back, you did it again. 3 weeks later, you looked incredible tonight. You knocked him out. You came over and screamed in my face and let me know that you belong here. Get over here, kid.
Congratulations, Caio Borralho.
The MMA team started to grow really fast, and our results, even in the beginning, was impressive. Like almost every fighter I was training was winning the battles and winning good, you know. We used to call the combat club team. In the school, I had some issues. I was bullied in school, and Caio was a nerd, and some of our athletes also had the same issues. So we figure out, man, we are kind of nerds, you know, and the way you study fights, and always with my notebook, and oh man, we are kind of nerds, but we are fighting nerds, you know. And I made the brand, I made the logo, and the rest is history.
Yeah, you know, like I was always a nerd, you know. When I was young, I was math teacher, I was chemistry teacher. I really loved chemistry, so working in some labs, you know. You know, like I always like anime, chess, all this nerdy stuff, you know. When I came into fighting, I just like transferred all my skills as a nerd, the way I approach the numbers and the data and all this stuff, and then I put it into the fighting, you know. So when it comes about fighting, I'm just looking about movement, mechanics, statistic, datas, you know, patterns and all this stuff. So we kind of look at ourselves in a different way, like, oh, maybe we're different from the other guys, you know. We're like nerds of fighting, you know. So we were thinking about that. And then Pablo came up with the name, and he was like, oh, we can be like the fighting nerds. What do you think? I was like, man, that's the name. That's the name that resumes everything, you know. So that's how we came with everything. No, we're not just there to fight or just to paycheck. No, we're there to you know, put everything on the line, and we have a big message to inspire people, you know. It's bullying payback time, you know, because the nerd guys is the guys that always get bullied a lot. So we're like, now it's bullying payback time. We're gonna inspire all these people too, you know. We have a message behind everything, you know. And imagine a guy that suffers bully all the time for being a nerd or for wearing glasses or anything like that, and he sees like big nerds fighting in the biggest stage of the world, you know, fighting the best guys in the world and beating their ass, you know. Like, it's really bullying payback, you know. So that kind of inspires them, not just to fight, but just to be whoever they want, you know. They have this powerful thing inside of them, you know, just to overcome everything that happens in their life.